Welcome back, Boston Celtics fans, to another incredibly exciting and massive deep dive into the absolute best basketball team in the entire world, as we continue to completely analyze every single angle of this magical championship pursuit. Today, we have a highly specific and incredibly fascinating roster development to discuss that could absolutely change the entire dynamic of the upcoming playoff run. We are talking about the veteran big man Nikola Vucevic and exactly how his highly anticipated return to the active roster could make an already terrifying Boston Celtics lineup even more incredibly dangerous for the rest of the league. Now, it is absolutely no secret to anyone paying attention that the Boston Celtics championship hopes do not exactly hinge entirely on the physical health and availability of Nikola Vucevic. This team is already an absolute juggernaut and a certified wagon completely capable of winning basketball games against elite competition without his services. However, it would undeniably be incredibly nice to finally see exactly what this team looks like operating at complete full capacity with him fully integrated into the complex offensive and defensive schemes designed by the coaching staff. For his entire professional basketball career, Vucevic has never really gotten the true opportunity to play on a team as deeply talented and perfectly constructed as this current iteration of the Boston Celtics. He has spent years putting up massive individual statistics and earning incredible accolades on teams that ultimately struggled to win meaningful games when the lights were the absolute brightest. But now playing in Boston, he finally gets the ultimate golden opportunity to definitively prove if his incredibly polished offensive skills and elite rebounding capabilities can truly translate seamlessly into a winning championship environment where sacrificing individual numbers for the greater good is the ultimate goal. The Celtics have unsurprisingly persevered quite well during his recent physical absence from the hardwood. They have been an absolute force of nature, winning 10 of their last 14 grueling basketball games, including that incredibly tough, highly physical matchup against the Dallas Mavericks, which happens to be the exact same unfortunate game where Vucevic sustained his injury. But just because the Celtics are fully capable of completely dominating the competition without him, that absolutely does not mean they cannot be significantly better and much more tactically versatile with him back in the nightly rotation. Let us take a very close look at the advanced statistical data because the numbers paint an absolutely incredible picture of his direct impact on the floor. Since officially joining the Boston Celtics, the team has posted an incredible plus 8.2 net rating whenever Nikola Vucevic physically steps onto the basketball court. According to the official statistics provided by the league, a plus 8.2 rating is an absolutely elite number that signifies complete and total domination over the opposing lineup. Now, we absolutely must acknowledge that the specific sample size of just 12 total games played in a Celtics uniform is not exactly the most massive or historically impressive sample size in the world for us to draw completely definitive conclusions from. However, it completely and undeniably shows exactly how incredibly helpful and impactful he had been as their primary backup big man before that highly unfortunate injury completely derailed his forward momentum. And the truly terrifying part for the rest of the Eastern Conference is that the on-court synergy could potentially get even better as the season progresses into the grueling months of the playoffs. We still have yet to truly see how Vucevic would fare sharing the floor for highly extended minutes right next to franchise superstar Jayson Tatum. When you put an elite passing big man who can consistently stretch the floor and knock down perimeter shots right next to one of the absolute best scoring wings in the entire world, the offensive possibilities are completely endless and incredibly difficult to defend. Better yet, we absolutely have to talk about the absolute most terrifying lineup the Boston Celtics have unveiled this entire season. With the recent emergence of what many national basketball analysts are officially calling the Boston Celtics death lineup, one absolutely cannot help but wonder exactly what would happen to opposing defensive coordinators if Vucevic is strategically inserted right into the middle of it. It was very recently confirmed and heavily discussed by highly respected basketball analyst Zach Lowe that Boston's absolute most dangerous and mathematically dominant lineup currently features the incredible five-man combination of Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Derek White, Peyton Pritchard, and the incredibly energetic Neemias Queta. It is a highly versatile and incredibly fast-paced lineup that head coach Joe Mazzulla has honestly not featured too much throughout the entire regular season, opting to save it for special occasions. However, he specifically deployed that exact group to successfully stave off the Miami Heat when they were desperately trying to mount a massive fourth-quarter comeback earlier in the year. That specific lineup possesses absolutely everything you could possibly ever want in modern positionless basketball. They have elite point-of-attack defense, incredible perimeter spacing, terrifying transition speed, and relentless pressure on the rim. Right here in the very middle of this massive tactical breakdown, if you are truly enjoying our daily deep dives into the Boston Celtics and you want to stay completely updated on absolutely all the latest basketball news, please take a quick second right now to passionately hit that subscribe button and leave a like on this video, because your continuous daily support is exactly what allows this channel to keep growing and bringing you the absolute best content available anywhere on the platform. Getting right back into the massive tactical implications of this specific death lineup, we deeply need to stop and really imagine exactly what would happen if Nikola Vucevic was seamlessly inserted into that specific group, specifically swapping him in for Neemias Queta. Now, absolutely no one in their right mind is explicitly saying that Vucevic is a vastly superior overall player to Queta at this exact stage of their respective professional careers, because Queta has been absolutely phenomenal all year long, providing elite rim protection and endless vertical energy. But Vucevic is undeniably good enough and highly skilled enough to completely keep the good times rolling in the highly likely event that Queta would have to eventually go to the bench for a quick physical rest, or if he unfortunately found himself in early foul trouble against a highly physical opposing center. Inserting Vucevic into that high-powered lineup would essentially make that specific five-man group an absolute pick-your-poison nightmare for any opposing defensive scheme. With Vucevic hovering around the perimeter or intelligently operating from the high post, absolutely everyone on the floor for the Boston Celtics can confidently shoot the basketball from deep, and every single player is fully capable of playing both on the ball as a primary creator or completely off the ball as a dangerous cutter or spot-up shooter. Vucevic is an absolute master of the pick-and-pop offensive action, and if you pair that elite veteran skill with the ferocious slashing ability of Jaylen Brown or the sheer scoring gravity of Jayson Tatum, the opposing center is forced to make a completely impossible decision. Do they drop back deep into the paint to protect the rim and completely concede a wide-open perimeter shot to Vucevic, or do they frantically step up to guard the outside and leave the painted area completely vulnerable to a devastating drive by Derek White or the lightning-fast Peyton Pritchard? It is a completely unanswerable question for a modern defense. Now, we absolutely must be fair and directly address the other side of the floor because, as the old saying goes, defense wins championships. Vucevic is simply not as good or as highly switchable as Queta is defensively out on the perimeter. Queta possesses incredible lateral quickness and explosive leaping ability that allows him to seamlessly switch onto much smaller guards and aggressively protect the rim against elite athletic slashers. Swapping Vucevic into that specific lineup would undeniably make a group like this significantly more structurally flawed and vulnerable on the defensive end of the floor, but it would also simultaneously make them exponentially more potent and highly explosive on the offensive end. And here is a highly fascinating and oddly surprising statistical anomaly regarding his overall defensive impact since joining the team. Boston's incredibly high net rating with Vucevic physically on the court has oddly enough been mostly derived directly from the defensive side of the basketball. While he may absolutely not be blocking shots out of the gymnasium or switching onto quick point guards, his elite veteran positioning, his massive physical frame, and his brilliant ability to secure highly contested defensive rebounds completely ends opponent possessions and directly limits backbreaking second-chance opportunities, which is a massively underrated aspect of elite team defense. It is absolutely not about blindly arguing who is simply better than whom in this specific stance, but rather deeply understanding and appreciating that both of these highly talented big men bring their own highly unique and incredibly valuable qualities to the Boston table. Pairing Vucevic with the incredible superstar duo of the Jays, along with the steady, brilliant playmaking of White and the boundless, infectious energy of Pritchard, would easily make the Boston Celtics remain completely dominant whenever Queta is forced to take a seat on the bench. This elite tactical versatility effectively makes the team drastically more dangerous overall, because their absolute periods of sheer dominance could easily extend for significantly longer continuous stretches of the basketball game, completely wearing down the opposing team's physical and mental endurance. Opposing teams rely incredibly heavily on merely surviving the minutes when the starting center sits down for a breather. But with a player of the caliber of Vucevic waiting patiently in the wings, there is absolutely zero drop-off in overall offensive quality, just a massive shift in stylistic execution that forces the opponent to completely change their game plan on the fly. Boston Celtics fans absolutely have every single right in the world to be incredibly excited and optimistic for exactly what is to come in the highly anticipated upcoming playoffs. To just sit back and fully realize that this historically great basketball team still has even more completely untapped options and highly versatile lineups available to maintain their elite championship status. truly shows just exactly how absolutely terrifying they are for the rest of the league to deal with. The upcoming Eastern Conference playoff bracket is undoubtedly going to be an absolute grueling bloodbath filled with incredibly talented rosters. But the Boston Celtics have absolutely every single tactical tool required to successfully navigate the storm, overcome any obstacle, and ultimately bring another glorious championship banner home to the passionate city of Boston.